Some homeowners in Peabody walk away from the closing table smiling, while others are blindsided by an unexpected tax bill. The truth is, selling your home here can come with some surprises, especially if you haven't prepared for the tax side of things. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how you can avoid these headaches so you can keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket. Now, before we dive in, let's clear something up right away. Taxes when selling your home aren't the same for everyone. It depends on your situation, how long you've owned the home, whether it's your primary residence, if you made improvements, and a few other factors. But there are some common rules and tips that every Peabody homeowner should understand but before putting that for sale sign in the yard. The first thing you need to know about is capital gains tax. This is the tax on the property you make when you sell your home. Here's good news. If you've lived in your home as your primary residence for at least 2 of the last 5 years, you may qualify for what's called for the home sale exclusion. That means you can exclude a certain amount of profit from being taxed. For single homeowners, that exclusion can be up to $250,000. For married couples filing jointly, it can be up to $500,000. Let's pause here because that's a big deal. Imagine you buy your home for, let's say, $400,000 back in 2017, and you're selling today for $750,000. That's a $350,000 gain in the last few years. If you're married, you not owe tax. You don't owe taxes on the profit at all, thanks to the exclusion. But if you're single, only $250,000 of that gain may be excluded, meaning you could be taxed on the remaining $50,000 to $100,000. That's what surprises. That's surprises that can pop up. Another way people get caught up guard is by not tracking their home improvements. Did you add a new kitchen? Did you finish the basement? Putting on a new roof. Those costs can be added to your home's basis, which is the IRS way of calculating your profit. In other words, the more you can document what you've invested in your property, the smaller your taxable gain may be. Keep those receipts because they can really make a difference. Here's another common surprise: timing. Some sellers assume that as long as they've owned the home for 2 years total, they're fine. But the rule is 2 out of the last 5 years. So if you moved out of your Peabody home and rented it for a while before selling, you can lose that exclusion. I've seen homeowners in town caught off guard by this exact situation. And while we're on the topic of timing, here's something most people overlook. Selling too quickly after buying. If you've owned the home less than a year, any profit may be taxed as ordinary income instead of long-term capital gains. That can mean a much higher tax rate. It's one of those details that can cost you a lot of money if you're not careful. Now, some sellers in Peabody ask me about special situations. For example, what if you're selling because of a job relocation, a health reason, or other life circumstances? The IRS does allow for partial exclusions in some cases, even if you haven't lived in the home for the full 2 years. The key is knowing these rules ahead of time and making sure you qualify. Here's another hidden tax surprise that doesn't get enough attention: state taxes. Federal taxes get most of the spotlight, but Massachusetts has its own tax rules on capital gains. It's important to understand that even if you qualify for the federal exclusion, you still may owe something at the state level. And that's another reason why talking with a tax professional before you list is so important. So how do we protect yourself from these surprises? 3 simple steps. First, gather your paperwork. That means purchase records, receipts for improvements, and any documentation about the years you've lived in the home. Second, talk to a tax professional early in the process, ideally before you put your home on the market. They can help you map out exactly what to expect. And third, don't assume your situation is the same as your neighbors. Every homeowner's numbers look different, and one small detail can change the outcome. At the end of the day, selling your home in Peabody should be an exciting step forward, not a stressful one. The more you prepare, the more confident you'll feel walking into that closing. And the best part, no tax surprises waiting for you afterwards. If you're thinking about selling your home and want to make sure you're prepared, let's connect. I can guide you through the real estate side and help you find the right resource